Hello, friends. Welcome to the Inquisitive Leader podcast. My name is Bowie Carpenter, and I'm truly honored to have you here. Over the years, I've had the privilege of wearing many hats: visionary, advisor, strategist, a leader of large-scale teams, and more recently, an executive coach. It's a journey that has spanned over 30 years and has taught me countless lessons about leadership, personal growth, and the power of community. For those who have stopped by before, welcome back. I took the month of August off and I am excited to be back. As many of you have returned from vacation and are getting back into the swing of work, I thought we could tackle a topic that can be enjoyed outdoors, allowing us to make the most of the last few weeks of the warm weather. Today, I want to talk about something simple but honestly transformational: taking meetings outdoors. Now, if you're thinking this sounds a little out there, just hear me out. There's pretty compelling evidence that our so-called sitting disease, yes, sitting disease, you heard that right, is taking a real toll on us. It turns out that spending about 15 hours a day parked in a chair has consequences. Mayo Clinic's research backs this up, and it was a wake-up call for me. It's not just anecdotal. I mean, look, I didn't always think about meetings this way. It actually started because of a university dean I was working with, one of those rare leaders who isn't afraid to shake up the routine. We had this thorny problem to solve, and when we were scheduling time, he just casually offered, want to take a walk around the quad instead of meeting in my office? I remember pausing. I mean, sure, Aristotle and all those ancient philosophers swore by walking for inspiration, but, well, how often do any of us put that into practice? So we headed out, and it's funny because I left that walk feeling lighter, literally and figuratively. We solved the problem faster than either of us expected, and I went back to my office with this strange sense of, rejuvenation. And it's not just a one-off either. Research from Stanford found that walking can boost creative output by about 60%. 60%. That's a sizable leap in new ideas just by moving your feet. I think a lot of us, even the best of us, fall into patterns of always being in the same room, the same chair, the same everything, day in and out. But the science is telling us, and my own experience echoes it, that switching up the environment, just getting outside, can be a powerful reset, not only for our bodies, but also for how we think and lead. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Why does any of this matter for us as leaders and teams? Well, the Mayo Clinic studies, which I mentioned earlier, show that movement isn't some nice to have. It's essential. Sitting for more than 8 hours a day with no physical activity, that's got a risk of premature death comparable to, well, some of the worst health habits out there. It sounds dramatic, but for me, these stats are a big motivator. But beyond just not dying early, which, is a pretty compelling reason on its own, being outside does something for our minds. Psychological research shows that meeting in nature, even if it's not a hike in the wilderness, but just a patch of green outside the office, actually increases engagement and focus. People come back in with a clarity that's so different from what you see in a conference room. And this is where I think leaders really set the tone. When we as leaders model these behaviors, making movement a regular part of meetings, it sends a message to the whole team. It's not just about checking the box for wellness. It's about recognizing that well-being and productivity aren't at odds. They feed each other. I talk a lot about self-awareness and self-care on this podcast. If you've been with me for those episodes about rest or somatic awareness, you already know this is kind of a theme for us. But truly, taking meetings outside is a concrete, actionable piece of that bigger picture. Now, before you run out and put outdoor walking meeting on everyone's calendar, there are some important things to consider. Not everyone can just lace up their sneakers and stroll for half an hour. It's so critical to remember that team members might have mobility challenges, chronic pain, or other reasons an outdoor or walking meeting isn't accessible. So before proposing this, bring it up as a discussion. Ask the team how they feel and what might work. For bigger groups, sometimes it's way easier to just grab some chairs and sit outside rather than trying to herd everyone on a walk. And practical matters. Check the weather. Nothing derails a meeting like an unexpected heat wave or summer storm. Also, pick a spot that's close to the office and has some nature. It doesn't have to be a forest. Just a green space will do. And give people a heads up so they can opt for comfortable shoes. Trust me, I've made the mistake of showing up in heels and, well, my shoes did more to aerate the lawn than I'd planned. And here's a tip for remote teams. You can actually still get the benefits of being outside, even if you aren't together geographically. Close out your meeting with a quick reflection. What felt different? What worked? What was maybe a flop? Honest feedback will help you refine your approach for next time. So, as you consider trying this out, remember, it's not about making a dramatic production. It's just about experimenting and being mindful of everyone's needs. That's progress, not perfection, right? All right. That wraps us up for this episode. Thanks for walking along with me today, literally or in spirit. Next time, we'll keep exploring ways to make leadership more creative and sustainable. So stay curious and keep leading with intention.